Hello and welcome to Real Life, Real Faith with Cheryl, Lacey, Donovan. I am so excited to be joined here today with Pastor JT Jamel Johnson. He is the host of Real Life, Real Faith Media Network's Increase Me TV. So he's joining us here on today. And I also have my girl Misty Early. She's always in the house. And we thought that since this broadcast would air in February, one of the things we wanted to talk about was love. And I happen to know that Pastor JT is doing a series about love, and I believe one of the things you've been talking about is helping people to understand and recognize what love is not. Can you expound upon that for us a little bit?
Right. Our series this month is called Love and Happiness, right? So I took it from old school Al Green, and the song said...
Hold on. He don't know nothing about... What are you talking about, Al Green? He's too young to know about Al Green. Where you got that from?
Well, okay, so while I may be young, I grew up in the house where on Saturdays, when you heard 90.9 come on, you knew that it was time to start cleaning up. There's going to be some cars being washed. And, you know, my dad, he just loved music, you know. So Al Green was always in the house. I mean, even, you know, when he got saved, you know, my mama started listening to, you know, Precious Lord. So we've had, you know, pre-Al and post-Al.
Okay, all right, that'll work.
But, you know, one of the lyrics that he says, you know, is that love will make you do right. And love will make you do wrong. Yeah. And so I posed the question over the weekend is, if love will make you do right and love will make you do wrong, is there really a right and a wrong way to love somebody? Now Keith Sweat said that.
I was getting ready to say, somebody said that.
He said it there. He did. And so from that thought process, I started to work it out. And so my answer is that it shouldn't be, but the only reason why it is because possibly many people have various definitions of what love is. And so from Scripture, we talked about what love is by just looking at John 3:16.
Right.
It is such an amazing Scripture, but I think because it's familiar, we've really lost what's being said. That God so loved the world, that so makes it unconditional. Right. That He gave. Right. It has to be a sacrificial love. His only Son. It has to be valuable. That whosoever, which means that it's accessible. That if you believe in me, you'll have everlasting life. So love is eternal. Yeah. So if it ended, it really wasn't that real. Wow. Right? And so then, after finding out what love is, now it prompted us to ask, well, what love is not? Well, Paul answered that question in 1 Corinthians 13 when he said love is not prideful, love is not arrogant, love is not easily provoked. And now this one
the Heated Fellowship,
Now this one was an interesting one, because even when I said it, because I have a church that's very interactive, right? So they talk back to me, you know, preach, Pastor Jay, holla, you know, shut your mouth and keep on talking. Now when I said this, it kind of got quiet. I said, Paul said, love, and this is the Message Bible, Eugene Patterson said, love does not keep score. It got quiet. Yeah. So I say, you can't really say that you love and have this genuine love that we talked about in John 3:16. Everybody was shouting and crying. Everlasting love.
Quiet as church mouse.
But then now, you keep a record.
Yeah. You know what? I don't hold your thoughts, because this is a thing that popped into my head. Misty and I are both women, and I'm sure, I don't know about you, Misty, but I can speak for myself. My name is Cheryl Donovan, and I'm a recovering, remind you what you did 5 years ago, aholic. Yes, I am. And that's what popped into my mind, because that is so true. And for some of us, sometimes that can be difficult. And I think it, goes back to the whole point about forgiving and forgetting, because I hear people a lot of times say that, oh, I forgive, but I won't forget. Right. And I'm like, well, heaven forbid that God was like that, because He says He casts it into the sea of forgetfulness, right? But as women, sometimes we tend to, put that thing in our hip pocket, so that when you do something that looks like, and pow, here it comes. Right. Or when we bring our baggage, come on somebody, from other relationships, and then you begin to look a little bit like, or something you said or whatever triggered that, then all of a sudden,
Right.
we find ourselves back in the place. So that was real key right there,
Right.
that it does not keep score. It doesn't keep record.
It doesn't keep score. Now, let me go to this point. One of the ways that I ensure that it doesn't keep score is that I am completely healed from the last relationship.
There you go.
Football season just ended, and at the end of football season, there is something that is called the off season. So you have you have what we call preseason, then you have the regular season, and then you have the postseason, but there's an off season. So this off season is typically used for players to get treatment. If they broke a leg or if they pulled a hamstring, they're able to now rest and come back ready to play at 100% the next season. So typically what happens in relationships is we don't have an off season. We jump from relationship
that's
to
true.
relationship.
That's true.
And so if we have not closed that chapter in the previous relationship, if we have not gotten treatment,
Come on, treatment.
if we have not gotten whole, we are coming into a relationship with fragments of who we really are. Because when God made woman, he made her from the rib of a man. Now this is the craziest thing. When the woman was made, she was made from parts of the man, but she was made whole. But her responsibility was to go right back to the side of that man that now makes him complete. So if I have not gotten healed from my previous relationship, I'm not even coming into this new relationship working at my full capacity to complete you and be the help meet I'm supposed to be. It is supposed to be my responsibility to help you meet every vision that you have, help you meet every dream that you have. But it's hard for me to help you meet a dream when I can't go to sleep because I'm going through your phone. Yeah, only because I did not get healed from the previous relationship. So in some instances, being single is sometimes the best decision that you can make.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, sometimes being single is the best decision that you can make because it gives you an opportunity to do some type of reasoning with yourself, right? To see possibly what went wrong. Maybe if I am seeing a recurring theme happen in relationships, I may need to ask myself, is it something that I need to change? Or possibly, I said this on Sunday, when the scripture said, whosoever, that means everybody was included. But it said, whosoever believes in me shall have everlasting life. So everlasting life is available, but you got to believe in me. So I said what we are attempting to do is give our eternal love to somebody that's our type, but they don't believe in us.
Oh, wow, that's wow. You know what? Everything that you said is so important because one of the things that I tell people all the time, you know, a lot of times we hear people say marriage is 50-50 and this and that. No, you need to be 100% whole, baby, when you get in that thing, because if you're not, then you're only bringing a part of yourself. You're not bringing your entire self to the relationship, and that is a recipe for failure. Everybody needs to be 100% whole when you're going into a relationship, so that the two whole people, whole parts, can then become one.
And even the men, we need to be whole too.
Yes, absolutely.
Because one of the things that happens, it's the same emotion. We just find different ways to deal with it. So what will happen is a man now hides that he was really hurt by now going out and leaving a trail of broken hearts. Because he's not right within himself, right? So he cannot be faithful. He cannot be committed. He cannot be trustworthy because he's still holding every woman accountable for what they did not do, but what happened previously. So with both of us coming in damaged, we have no opportunity to even think that something positive could come out of that. We have to first come in being positive, first come in being whole, and the only way I believe that we can be made whole is that we have to be real with ourselves. We have to be real with ourselves, because one of the first steps, because after I talked about the record keeping, I said, oh, okay, because I was going to go a different direction, but sensing what was going on, I said, okay, well, what I need to do is I need to talk about forgiveness. Because you said something, forgive and forget. That's impossible unless you do it using the equation that Jesus gave.
That's it.
Yeah.
Peter asked Jesus, somebody do something to me, right?
Yeah.
I don't know about them other boys over there, but I'm your boy. I'm your boy.
For me.
How many times am I supposed to forgive?
Oh, and he slapped him 1, 2, pop out.
Yeah. And so Peter say it's 7 times enough. And so then Jesus like, no, probably 70 times 7.
Yeah.
So literally Jesus said 490 times.
A day.
Now, this is my thought. As I've looked at it, Jesus wasn't necessarily putting a number on how many times that I was supposed to forgive. Literally what Jesus was saying is how exaggerated that number is how you have to be. Every time that thought comes back, I have to forgive again. That's all that Jesus was saying. That's all that Jesus was saying. Because the thought will haunt you. The thought will keep you up at night. The thought will have you acting out of character. But I forgive you again.
Yeah.
That's how a person can be in a relationship and stay in a relationship with somebody that may have cheated. It's because when I come to a point to say that I want to forgive you, then every time I think about it, because I'm human, and even in studying the mind is a muscle that has to continuously be worked. And if that muscle is not worked, it becomes lazy. Right? And so if we're not working our mind, if we're not reading, if we're not growing, if we're not stretching our mind is prone to go back and pull the easiest things that it can find. And you are always going to have more negative stuff on the floor that's accessible than positive things. So your mind is going to go back and pull that time when he did not come home. And so because he said that he had to work late tonight, your mind is going to tell you, well, I wonder, is he really working late? Now, I catch that. Even the Bible tells us we have the power to cast down. And the word cast down in the Greek was basically saying the same way that Jesus was thrown on the cross. I have to catch it and throw it down as quick as I can. Because if not, the residue of the thought will have me doing things. I'm pulling up at his job. I'm trying to see if his car is
Post it up.
Yeah.
Checking them out.
All because I didn't catch that thought. But now this is the thing, and I want you all to think about this, and viewers, I want you to see this. Forgive to forget. The only way I can forget is if I forgive. But move those 4s out of the way. If I forgive, I give to get. Move that 4. Forgive to forget. Take F-O-R off of both. Now I have give to get. So if I want a different response, I have to give a different reaction.
That's good.
I have to show you that I am not going to allow that to take me back to my accounting book. I remember January 13th.
Yeah, we good at it, sisters. We good at it. We good at it.
White shirt and he was wearing juke cologne. I remember. I associate that.
Yes. That's right. But listen, and it's intentional. It's a decision. It's a choice to forgive. And I think sometimes people forget that. You have to be intentional about that. And you cannot do it by yourself.
No.
You have to allow the Holy Spirit to work on you on the inside and to help you to massage that thing and get through it. You're not going to be able to do that by yourself.
And let me give this point, because I think this may be for somebody that's listening, because your thought may be, well, what happens if that other person won't own up to what they did? It takes 2 people for reconciliation.
Yeah, it does.
It takes 2 people for reconciliation. But it only takes 1 person for restoration. So if you want to be restored, that other person does not have to be a contributing factor in your restoration. Personally, between me and God, God can feel me and heal me and get me past what happened. If there is supposed to be a mender of the relationship, that other person has to be a willing participant. But you can't force a person to be something that they're not. So it's even when we go to God, we have to come to him broken. We have to come to him contrite, because he forgives us based on how we approach him during repentance. Wow. If we feel that we don't need to ask him for forgiveness, he's not just throwing out forgiveness coupons. I have to be at a point where I am godly sorrowful for what I did. And then when I show him that I am contrite and broken, then he's able to restore me and restore back the joy of my salvation.
Wow, man. Love on purpose. Back in a minute. Real Life, Real Faith with Cheryl, Lacey, Donovan.
I thought a drink would magically solve all my problems.
And then you don't even have the decency to...
I thought it would give me courage.
I thought that it would help me fit in.
You know, I thought it'd be the life of the party.
I never thought this would happen to me.
I thought I was only hurting myself.
If alcohol has lost its magic for you and you can't stop drinking,
I took action and my life has changed.
I'm out living life to the fullest.
Now I have friends that accept me for me.
I realized I don't have to drink anymore.
I've stopped hurting the people that I love.
AA gave me hope.
you'll find us in the phone book, your local newspaper, or on the web at aa.org. Alcoholics Anonymous.
Welcome back to Real Life, Real Faith. We are talking about love, and one of the things that, it's been said, what the world needs now is love, sweet love, right? The other day, I posted something on my Facebook page, Real Life, Real Faith Facebook page, and let people know that it was Trayvon Martin's birthday, and also, I think on the 26th, it's going to mark the 4-year anniversary of when he was killed by George Zimmerman, and the responses that I received were so, in my opinion, cruel. You know, things like, they were saying he was a criminal in the making, and they had, a picture of someone's hand, I don't know if it was Trayvon's hand or not, holding a gun, and a picture of him with some smoke. And nowadays Photoshop and doctoring of pictures and things like that, who knows where those pictures came from? The person said that they came off of his cell phone. I don't know, but I don't even know if that matters. At the end of the day, this is a young man who was gunned down in his prime, 17 years old. Whether he was a criminal in the making or not, at that particular moment, he wasn't involved in any crime that anyone could find. And I just thought to myself, where is the love? Where is the compassion? Love your neighbor as yourself. Where is all of that? Where are we as a society now?
I think one of the things about our society is we've become desensitized. One of the reasons why is because you can't even turn on the news to catch the weather.
No.
Without the first 15 minutes being doom and gloom.
Yeah.
You're afraid in your own home. Somebody's got shot. Somebody's gotten killed. And then what has happened is that there have been so many negative pictures that have been implanted in our head, even about our own people. Mm-hmm. And it makes us begin to categorize them because of their dress or because of the music that they listen to. I have 2 young boys, one's 17, one is 12. Amazingly enough, the music that they listen to probably the same music that Trayvon listened to. Both of my boys, they wear hoodies. Mm-hmm. They drink Snapple. They like Skittles. Mm-hmm. But on the outside, to somebody else, they could be perceived as a threat. Only because they fit the bill, right? Yeah. So now, I think one of the reasons why love is not apparent in today's day is because we're not looking for it. We have conditioned ourselves to find the negative in everyone. We've conditioned ourselves that even if it's good, we say it's too good to be true. So we're always attempting to find something. Rather than finding the positive about somebody, rather than loving somebody, we are trying to find the negative. But it goes back to what Jesus said, and this may answer your question. I think this is it. Mm-hmm. He said, love your neighbor as yourself. So possibly could it be
that you don't love yourself?
We don't love ourselves. So it is impossible for me to love somebody else when I can't even find a reason to love the person that I live with every single day.
Yeah.
So that may be it.
Yeah, and then you know, a lot of us haven't have a good example of what love is, and we haven't seen that model in our homes, and therefore we go on and don't know how to do it ourselves, and we're just mimicking a behavior that has got us this far. But the thing is that our current behavior has got us to this point. And therefore it has no reproduction or anything that can go further because we haven't been shown how to do it. And yet there are tools out there. There are pastors who are preaching great messages on love. And even Jesus said the greatest thing is love.
It is.
And we still have no idea how to do it, how to reciprocate it, but we're expecting it though.
Yes.
You know, I think a lot of it is because of self. We only look at ourselves. You know, self gratification. What's in it for me? As a WIIFM. That's all I listen to. What's in it for me?
Yeah.
And it's very seldom that we try to put that out in the universe, if you will. You know, we're selfish. We're selfish.
We are, and we have been, once again, we've been conditioned that way. Even to the point to where you said, Misty, is that many of us have not seen an example, a true example of what real love looks like. Many people have not witnessed what real love looks like inside of the home, because possibly they've grown up in a home that you may have had two parents there, but there could have been verbal abuse, there could have been physical abuse, mental abuse. So then when they leave out, without even knowing it subliminally, they are beginning to represent what they saw.
Yeah.
And so we have now gotten to a place, Cheryl, to where what we have come to know as hate, it is now open to the world to express it. Because people probably felt that way in 76, but they didn't have the mediums.
Right.
There wasn't a Facebook. There wasn't a Twitter.
Right.
There wasn't a YouTube. Right. So I couldn't just get on a video and make a random hate video. I couldn't make a hate post because at that point you would have to mail it to somebody.
Yeah. Now you got a public platform.
You got a public platform, and this is something that I heard Jay-Z say. He said, "It's sad, but the only thing that the internet has done is it has provided a lane for lames."
Oh wow!
Yeah, because now everybody has an opinion. Everybody, even to the point. On one of our Increase Me shows, when I interviewed Daniel Nelson, he said something that was so amazing. He said that even when somebody gives any type of review, somebody goes to a restaurant and they give a review, somebody views a website and they give it a review, oftentimes people won't even tell you how good your stuff is.
Right. Right.
They will not. They'll look at it and they'll say to themselves, "Oh wow, this is amazing," and they'll keep it. But let something be wrong. And they blast it to everybody. You could have somebody who goes to a restaurant, who has eaten at this restaurant, gone to Piccadilly's every Sunday after church, never said anything about it, wouldn't even check in on Facebook, wouldn't let nobody know they was at Piccadilly. The day that they get some cold poke bones, they're getting on Piccadilly's page. They're tagging people saying don't go to Piccadilly anymore. Well, what about all of these years when Piccadilly was serving up hot poke bones and you never even said how
smothered
good
with gravy.
Yeah, and you never even said how
80
good.
weight.
80 weight. Oh Lord, they about to die at the table. But you won't say what's good, but you will magnify what's bad. So I believe that it's just people who have always felt this way. They just now have an avenue to let people know how they feel. You know, and I'm not talking about anybody's political choices, but just recently Donald Trump won in New Hampshire. And this was crazy to me. And I thought about it. I said, do you know what that says? Even with his blatant disrespect, even with his negative comments, even with his braggadocious type persona, he's still the leading vote getter. All that says is it's a whole bunch of other people think the same way
way he does, and I've been saying that the entire time. That blows my mind even more than the hype, all of the foolishness that he says. Is that nobody's, well, I don't know, maybe they are, but it doesn't seem like anybody's paying attention to the fact that the only way he's winning is that somebody is buying into what he's saying. You got some stakeholders on this.
Yeah, and to what Pastor Jamel was saying is that this has always been, they've always thought that way, but now it's called Donald Trump.
Yeah.
And that's what it's named because they were used to that. They always thought that way, but now it's in the public scene, and now it's called Donald Trump.
It's called Donald Trump.
And I agree with it. Not me personally, but them.
And so what happens is it makes it easier for me now to fall under the umbrella. Because before I would possibly...
It's a front man, it's a hype man.
Yeah. Before I would possibly have to throw the rock and hide my hand. Now I want you to know that I threw the rock. Now I'm unapologetic about it to where it's even making it seemingly a racial divide in the supposedly freest country in the world, and we are basically saying that on the principles that this country was built upon. Because remember, we came over here supposedly because we wanted to be able to serve our God. We came over here for religious freedom. But basically what we're saying is that in 2016 we have nullified all of the thoughts and principles that we adhere to start these great United States of America, and say that we don't love. Because if we were really one nation under God, God is love. So then that means that this nation would be exemplifying the love of God, not showing hatred.
Yeah, I thought while we were talking that I would just pull up 1 Corinthians 13. I'm going to read it from the Message version. If I give everything I own to the poor and even go to the stake to be burned as a martyr, but I don't love, I've got nowhere. So no matter what I say, what I believe, and what I do, I'm bankrupt. Without love. Bankrupt. I have nothing. If I don't have love, I have nothing. I would venture to say it's a bunch of bankrupt people out here.
It is.
It is. It's some wealthy bankrupt people.
He
they broke and got money.
Yeah.
And doesn't it even go to say, I don't know if it's 1 Corinthians or 2 Corinthians, forgive me if I'm wrong, if you have the gift of prophecy.
That's how this starts.
Okay.
That's how it starts. If I speak God's word with power, revealing all the mysteries, you got all of it, all the mysteries. He done gave you everything, and making everything plain as day. And if I have faith that says to a mountain, jump, and it jumps, but I don't love, I'm nothing.
Because you got to remember, even Jesus said this. He said, when you do it to the least of them,
you do it to me.
You do it to me. There is nothing in your natural man that will push you to do anything for somebody that can't give you anything back other than love.
Other than love. That's it.
That's the only reason that because you said people live now, what's in it for me, right? So the only thing that will make you do something for a person that you know is living from paycheck to paycheck, or possibly they're living in the inner city community, they're working 2 or 3 jobs just to try to make ends meet, and you take that family some food, or you go and you have something in the community for the children, and you're not asking for a dime. It has to be love. But what is happening is that people, listen to this, people are using Christianity just like how we use famous designers. People are wearing Christianity like it's a Michael Kors purse. I wear it because it's a good accessory. But that's not really who I am. Because if that's who you were, we'd show the love that we say that we have. Because you can't say that you love me and you can't show that you love me.
That's it.
Yeah, because otherwise it's just a bunch of words.
Just a bunch of words.
So it goes. This is what it goes on to say. It says, "Love never gives up." How many times You know, and I think about this even in our family relationships, when people will come to you and say, oh, give up on him, he ain't gonna never do right, he's not gonna ever be any better. And this is coming from people that supposedly, like you said, are Christians. But they're telling you to give it. This says that love never gives up. Love cares more for others than for self. Love doesn't want what it doesn't have. Wow. Love doesn't want what it doesn't have. Love doesn't strut. It doesn't have a swelled head. It doesn't force itself on others. Isn't always me first. Doesn't fly off the handle. Doesn't, you said this in the previous segment, keep score of the sins of others. And how many of us, well, I don't gamble, I don't drink, I don't do this, but you, come on, somebody. Doesn't doesn't revel when others grovel. In other words, only way I can feel good is if you're beneath me, you're beneath my feet. You have to come and carry my Bible and my water for me like I can't carry it for myself. I need somebody groveling to me in order to feel elevated and lifted up. Takes pleasure in the flowering of truth. Puts up, and this is a big one, with anything. Puts up with anything.
And Cheryl, what I'll say to our previous segment, talking about love, is when we don't deal with all of our love stipulations, you know, our long Santa Claus list of things that we have to have that boo ain't. Okay, when we don't deal with that, we get into another relationship, and it's the same thing but with a different name.
Yeah. Just foolishness. Then it goes, I like that though. Love puts up with anything. Because a lot of us, we only, I'll love you as long as you're doing everything that I want you to do. Or I'll love you as long as it comes in
my house.
And it comes in a nice little box with a nice little bow on it, packaged, give it to me.
Nice.
As long as all of these stipulations are met, then I love you. But the minute that you step outside of this, then all of a sudden, I don't want to fool with you no more. I'm going to put you over here in the corner. It has to look this way and smell this way and act this way, and But this says love puts up with anything. Then it says trusts God always looks for the best, never looks back, but keeps going to the end. Love never dies. Wow. Love. What's love got to do with it? Everything. Back in a moment. Real life, real faith.
Uncle Joe, I really appreciate that, but I really, have some other news to share.
What? He going back to school, y'all.
What? No, Mom, I'm not going back to school.
Sorry. Oh, I'm nervous. Okay, what is it?
Well, everybody knows that Raquel and I have really been dating a long time.
Oh,
right?
she's pregnant.
Yeah.
She having a baby.
She's not pregnant.
She been having my baby.
Anyway, I love Raquel, and Raquel really loves me. The reason why I'm so late getting here is because Raquel and I were just together, and I asked her to marry me.
What? Oh, Gregory, that is a wonderful idea, baby.
Come on, talk to me, baby. You know I don't like to see my baby looking down.
Oh, okay, Malcolm. You know what? You're really sweet, but listen, we can't do this.
We can't do what?
This. I mean, you touching me and calling me baby. I mean, we gotta be careful because I'm a married woman.
Oh, so what about your husband when you snuck out of the bed at 2 o'clock in the morning and you came into mine and we made passionate love until 6 in the morning? You surely didn't have a problem with me calling you baby then, did you?
Malcolm, that was different, and you know it.
How in the hell is that different, woman? Explain it.
Malcolm, it's just different. I can't explain it. It's just different.
No, I need you to explain why we have to be careful. Because you're the married one. You lied to your husband, and you got me in his house. And you snuck out of your wonderful lawyer husband's bed, the man that gives you everything you want. And you come and be with me for hours. Explain it!
So much is going on, and one, I stay so busy, these cases, and I don't know what's gotten into Raquel. She called me the other day and told me I had put my mother out.
What?
Yeah, man.
Oh, man.
She done lost her mind. You know, she going on and on. She even threatened me.
What did I do so wrong?
Okay, mother, the thing is, I tried. I tried my best. But you can't come to this $9 million home and clip your toenails on a $5,000, table.
That wasn't me.
Oh my God! You become an embarrassment.
Simone, listen, how long has this been going on?
My husband, he just have a temper. He's had one since he was little. He's been in and out of counseling.
So you mean to tell me that you've been dealing with this for a while? Simone, that's not good, honey. There are so many women that have died behind domestic violence. You've got to get some help.
I love my husband. He's my king. He loves me.
Oh, come on, Simone.
You shouldn't have to live like this.
Listen.
I'm telling you.
Simone, listen. I know you love your husband. I know that. Okay? But you have got to pray about this thing. Simone, listen. You got to plead the blood of Jesus and command that your house lines up.
Tell you what.
Raquel? I need you to tell me.
Gregory, let me explain. Just let me explain.
Tell me!
Okay.
What the hell is going on here?
Okay.
Well, since she taking so long, I'll tell you. All right.
Welcome back to Real Life, Real Faith. Joining me now, I have Kim Mason and Sharika Matthews, and they've come on the segment today to talk about Divas Day. Divas Day is happening March the 5th right here in, actually it's not Houston, it would be Pearland, right?
Right.
Happening in Pearland, which is a suburb of Houston, Texas, and it's going to be on March the 5th. And we wanted Kim to be able to come in and tell us a little bit about what Diva Day is and what she does with her organization. So welcome to today's broadcast.
Thank you so much.
Go ahead and let the listeners know what's happening.
Divas Day is an annual event. This will be my 8th year that I'm doing Divas Day. It started in my home, and each year after that, it has grown. And now we're at the Hilton Garden Inn in Pearland. 6 speakers, 11 vendors, and 100+ women come out to learn about different subjects and to be motivated and empowered for the future.
Okay. So what was it that made you want to begin Divas Day?
It started as just a 15 women getting together at my home playing games and things like that. And then I started thinking, how could I make it better? So the second year, I decided to ask some people to come in to actually speak. And it was just great, and I just got so much, positive feedback from it. But what I really want to do Divas Day is just to empower women to greatness. Our tagline is educating women to do more and be more, and that's why I wanted to do it, just to help women.
Oh wow, there are a lot of things out there right now, and we really could use that. We as women, we do a lot of things. We think that we're superwoman. We are wives, we are moms, we are business women, entrepreneurs, and every now and then we just need to get together to be able to let our hair down and to have other people to pour into us, because we're always pouring into someone else. So I commend you for that. I think that is a wonderful, wonderful idea. And I think, did you create an organization for it, or is just the event what's happening?
Yes, Divas Day was an annual event, and I decided to apply for 501c3 status, and that's how we became Gracious Diva Network. And I did that because this would allow me to have more than one event a year.
and also to be able to accept donations and turn it into a viable business. I feel as if I work for women, and I love it, and I love connecting with women.
Okay. Well, Sharika, I believe that you're going to be one of the speakers this year, so
Yes,
tell everybody a little bit about yourself and what your topic is going to be for Divas Day.
Well, my name is Sharika Matthews, and I'm the owner of Live Life Beyond Barriers. And my company also is in the business of serving women. So this year, I want to talk about overcoming disappointments. As many of you know, the economy has taken such a big hit, and it's affecting all of us, especially us as women. And so disappointments is something that we all can relate to, whether we've been disappointed on our jobs, been disappointed in our relationships, or disappointed in life in general. So I really want to get up here and I want to teach women a couple of tools that they can use today and every day of their lives to overcome their disappointments in their lives.
Okay, so now when you, since we're talking about entrepreneurship and creating business and things like that, what was it that motivated you to want to start your business to help women to overcome those barriers that they deal with?
Actually, it was a good friend of mine who encouraged me to step out and do this because by trade I'm an engineer. And so I never envisioned myself in becoming an author or a speaker, but through my life experiences, a good friend told me, Sharika, you need to write a book. You have so much to tell. And so I started off by simply telling my story of what I've gone through. And what I realized is that we as women, we don't have enough conversations. We don't have enough conversations about what we've been through, what we've overcome, and how we've done it. And so as I began to tell my story and share my story with other women, they were like, oh my gosh, thank you. I thought I was the only one who'd gone through this. I thought that no one else could understand where I'm coming from. And so it was the feedback like that that encouraged me to get out here and tell my story more, teach the lessons that I've learned, and teach them how to continue to live life fully on purpose, in faith, and in love.
You know what? I don't think sometimes that it's that we're not having enough conversations. I think that it's we're not having the right conversations.
Yes, I would agree with that.
We have a lot of conversations about a lot of things that really don't matter.
Exactly.
And the things that we should be talking about, the things that we should be putting out there, we get into this mode where we don't want people to know that we're tired. We don't want people to know that we have a lot of weight and a lot of burden on our shoulders. We don't want people to know that we've been through this particular issue because we think that it's going to make them think less of us, or that they're going to, maybe ostracize us or whatever. So I think it's not so much that we're not having the conversations as much as it is that we're not having the right conversations.
Right, but that goes back to what you said earlier. We as women, we've accepted this stereotype of us being super women. Feel like we have to do everything on my own, that we have to be strong. But it's this facade of this strength that we have, not understanding that it's in our vulnerability where we actually find our strength. It's in our vulnerability where we connect in places like this at Divas Day and things like that. We could truly be transparent. We could truly be honest. We could truly be ourselves. And that's the place of learning and growth.
Yeah, and I totally agree with that. Did you have something you wanted to add?
No, I just, no, she said it perfectly. And this was one of the reasons why I started Divas Day, just to help women.
So I know you said you wrote a book. What's the name of the book? And let us know a little bit about that.
Okay, the name of the book is called Engineering Faith. As I mentioned earlier.
Love it.
My background is an engineer, so growing up, I love math and science. However, spirituality, religion doesn't always fit in my mathematical equations. So I had a really hard time understanding and accepting faith, accepting Christianity. Because every time I asked questions, everyone just kept saying, just believe, just have faith. In my mind, I can go out there and just try drugs, figure out if it works or doesn't work. So I couldn't, it was very difficult for me to move forward. And so as I became an adult, I did decide to become a Christian because one thing I did know was that I believed in God. I wasn't sure of anything else, but I knew God existed. So it was the course of my adulthood, my early adulthood, of going through college, having some family interactions that did not turn out right, being married and divorced, being engaged and having a broken engagement. All these things, all these life experiences really taught me what it really meant to have faith. And faith isn't just belief. Faith is more than just saying, I believe. It takes action. It takes work. It takes a lot of other things. And then there's a way to actually apply it to your life. And that's what the book is about. It teaches you how to apply faith to your life. And I share my stories in the book so that you can understand that I'm not just telling you something that I read somewhere else.
Right.
This is something I've experienced. So that was my way of helping other people in general on living their life fully and having faith. And you can find my book on Amazon.com. It's Engineering Faith. You can also find it on Barnes & Nobles as well.
Okay. You know, one thing that we do know here at Real Life, Real Faith is that faith without works
is dead.
Dead.
Yes, ma'am.
So
Yes.
we're definitely going to make sure that our readers, listeners, and viewers have an opportunity to go out and find your book. Before I go back to Kim, I want you to give them information on how they can contact you if they'd like to.
Yes, if you would like to contact me, you can always find me on my website. It's livelifebeyondbarriers.com, or you can send me an email at sm@livelifebeyondbarriers.com.
All right, Kim, so what I want you to do now is to go ahead and tell our viewers a little bit about Diva Day itself, the speakers, their topics, and then let them know how they can contact you if they want more information.
Okay, with Divas Day, I want people to leave with information that they could start using in their lives right now. You know, that's exactly why, you know, Sharika's going to be speaking on overcoming disappointments. We have Tequila Adolph, who will be discussing health and fitness, keeping your body together. We have Juanita Hines, who's going to bring us a professional work, how to be better on your job and, you know, be committed to your work. Also, we have Rod, the storyteller White, who will be having a segment on communication and being successful with building relationships and networking. And then Cheryl, I'm so excited. She's our keynote speaker this year. And she's going to be talking about Divas Walking in Excellence. So it's going to be a really good time, you know, fun, just high energy. And, you know, we're just going to have a great time.
Okay, well, let them know how they can find out more information.
Yeah, so for more information, you want to go to www.divasday.org. And Diva has an S on it, divasday.org.
Okay. And I think we probably missed, we said it was in Pearland, but you said Hilton?
Yes, the Hilton Garden Inn in Pearland on March 5th at 8:30 in the morning.
We're going to be up early, y'all.
Yes.
Real early. Kim, Sharika, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. We'll be back in a moment. Real Life, Real Faith with Cheryl, Lacey, Donovan.
Military life is rewarding, but it isn't always easy.
Managing the stress can affect even the strongest warrior.
But I will stay mission ready.
I will keep my mind and body fit.
Talk to my chaplain.
Seek care early.
Strive for progress, not perfection.
I got this.
I got this.
Take the first step.
There's no better time than now.
Reaching out is a sign of strength. Visit realwarriors.net or call 866-966-1020.
My name is Clint.
I'm an alcoholic. My name is Victoria.
I'm Justin H. I'm an alcoholic.
My name's Danielle, and I'm an alcoholic.
My name's Mark. I'm an alcoholic.
My name is Dorothy T., and I am an alcoholic.
For so long, alcohol has sort of been there for me to sort of see me through social situations. I didn't really know how to communicate.
I had no friends. I burned every single bridge. My family had cut ties from me. I was unemployable and all of those things because, you know, drinking was more important than anything else.
I had my last drink when I was sitting at a bus stop in Savannah, Georgia.
My journey in AA started years ago when I reached the outside limits of my desperation.
I really wanted to quit drinking. I just couldn't stop on my own. And you know, I remember when I woke up on the day that I got sober, I felt something inside of me tell me that I could go to AA.
And then these people, just gathered around me, and it was just an amazing experience because that was the fellowship in action in my life.
They took me to Alcoholics Anonymous. Alcoholics Anonymous has saved my life.
The moral of my story today is that AA has never let me down, ever. When I've been in my darkest hours, AA has been there for me.
So if I carry any sort of message with my story, it's that, keep coming back and that this thing does work. And don't leave before the miracle happens.
If you have a problem with alcohol, contact AA. It works.
Hey, what's going on, family? It's Willie Moore Jr. You're watching Real Life, Real Faith with my sister from another mister, Cheryl Donovan. Stick around. Float out.
Are you there, God? It's me, Cheryl. Life Lessons for the Virtuous Woman is a book that I've written that gives you some pearls of wisdom that I've learned over my lifetime. It's great to have passion. It's great to have purpose. But if you don't have a plan, everything else is going to fail. If you're looking for validation by comparing yourself to others, then you're setting yourself up for failure. You don't know what kind of hell they had to go through to get where they are. Scripture reminds us there is a time and a place for everything. We just have to learn how to give time. None of us has actually fully arrived. We are all under construction. Life is too short to waste on unforgiveness. People are not really thinking about you anyway. We want to thank you so much for joining us here today on Real Life, Real Faith with Cheryl Lacey Donovan. It has been wonderful talking to you about love, because truly what the world needs now is love, sweet love.
Boy, that's the only thing we don't have enough of. And we want to make sure that you join us every Sunday at 6 o'clock p.m. on Comcast 17, ATTU Verse 99, Suddenlink 99, and wherever the show broadcasts. It's also on realliferealfaithtv.com. And as always, we want to remind you that you can hit us up on Facebook at Real Life Real Faith with Cheryl, Lacey, Donovan. Also on Twitter at Real Faith Mag, as in magazine. We even have an Instagram page for Real Life Real Faith. So get out there and find out where we are so you can know what's happening with us each and every day. And as always, remember that God can do exceedingly and abundantly more than you could ever ask or think, according to the power that worketh in you. Be blessed.